All right, all right, all right. We got Doctor. I like to call you Doctor. Doctor
I
Larry
like
Blackford on the
Mhm.
show. On the who wears several hats, which he does. Coming out of Versailles, Kentucky, my home, not my hometown, but close enough. I'm out of
Yeah.
Kentucky myself. You got a beautiful smile. I know people tell you it all the time. A great smile.
Thank you, my brother.
Larry Blackford. Man, I've been trying to get you on the show. I think I talked to you about this before, didn't I?
Yeah, you mentioned something about uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
What? What? Go ahead.
no, you always having ideas and creativity and all that kind of. You always look for something.
I,
That's
was-
good. That's a
I was
good
supposed
thing.
I was supposed to be retired. I can't seem to do it. But let me tell you who inspired me. You did.
Really?
Yeah, because I saw you doing this. I say, okay,
Yeah, Bible studies. Yeah, 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 yeah. All
that was
right.
cool. I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I put it on the back burner though, but
Right.
I want to give you credit where credit is due.
Thank you.
You really inspired me.
Well, I'm glad you're doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So were you born in Lexington?
Now,
Oh,
born for sales.
Versailles. Okay.
Mhm.
You went to school in Versailles too, as well, I guess.
Right. Went to high school here. Then I went to college in Lexington. Uh huh.
Okay, tell me about that. Would you aspire to be
Yeah.
something? I'm sure. So you went
Yeah.
to high school. You want to go and do a shout out for your high school?
Yeah, yeah. Woodford County High School here for sales. I have to give a shout out to my grandmother who raised me and my other first cousin. And right today, I still don't know why she raised me and raised him, but I do know my mother had me at a young age. And back then, your grandparents didn't tell you a whole lot of business anyway. They just raised you and go about the business. Raising the kids and grandchildren.
Yeah, I
But
like that.
anyway, so she raised me with a real strong Christian lady. And I do remember this, brother Derek, sitting on the second every Sunday with her until I was about in middle school.
Yeah, a lot of us.
Then when she released me, if I went in the back of the church acting up, she put me back up front.
Mhm.
So then from there, I'm saying that because she has a large influence on my life growing up, and she shaped me in a whole lot of ways. And I'm still like that day with a whole lot of things she put in me. But then from there, I went to high school for county. Was blessed to be able to go to college and get a scholarship and play basketball in college, which I say was a blessing with itself. And that really blew my mind to be able to go through school and play something that God has given you the gift to play, the tools to play, and pay for your education. That
Mhm.
blew my mind. And I went to one of the most expensive colleges in this area. First, I went to Eastern, and I transferred to Transylvania University. And it's amazing me to just go through the line and get my books and pay my tuition just with a card. I said, Lord have mercy. And to graduate, and I have paid a dime for my education only because of the gift God gave me to play basketball. And I took my education serious also. And so from there, I graduated and we're hoping to play some pro ball, but wasn't able to do that. But then I went on to the education teacher, got a degree in PE and history. And so I taught PE and coached for years and years in Fayette County schools. And from Fayette County schools, I came back home first year, taught 2 years here in Woodford County, my hometown at elementary. Then from there, I went to a private school in Lexington, Sarah School. I know you may know where it is on Limestone over there, North Limestone. Private school with all these little rich white kids in there, and they asked me to come there and coach and teach with the boys because I was coaching the AU team basketball in Lexington at that time also. And I don't know how they knew what I was doing, so they saw what I was doing, and so these parents asked me if I would come to coach at Sarah School. And see, people don't know this. Private schools don't pay as much as public schools, and so they approached me. I said, "Well, I back then, and I graduated in 1977." And I told him, I said, "Well, I'm making more in the public school than I would in private school. Back then in '77, I made $12,000 a year teaching. In private school, I only paid 9,000." And the
Wow.
parents said, "Well, I tell you what, Les, if you come here, we'll make up the difference ourselves from our own pockets."
I would think it'd be just the opposite.
Right. I did too. I was shocked when they showed me the pay schedule. And no, I think they told me they knew the difference. They pay less. And so I went there and coached for 3 years, Brother Derek. And I took these little rich kids who was driving Mercedes Benz and ran Rolls Royce up on the campus and took these little kids and turned them into basketball players. And we won the conference after my third year there. We went 14-2. won the conference, Bluegrass Conference, man. They lost their minds over there, and then from there, I had a chance to go to college and coach at Liberty Baptist University in Lynchburg, Virginia, where Jerry Falwell was the chancellor of Liberty University.
He didn't play basketball.
No. He was just a chancellor, founder of school, and the pastor of Thomas Road Baptist Church.
Yeah.
And see, when God moved me from Sarah School, because the headmaster didn't want to let me come back here and keep. And I said, well, I resign. He said, what are you gonna do? I said, I don't know. And I always been the kind of brother that if I just know I'm doing what is right, and I know God has got my back, and if people can't work with me, if the Spirit says move, I move. That's it. And I just I'm finished. And so I had a coach, my coach who coached me at Transylvania, called me up and told me, his coach, he went and told him I did a good job at Sarah School. He was coaching at Charlotte, Lee Rose. So I don't know if y'all know him. He coached at Lee Rose, coached Cornbread Maxwell back in the day at Charlotte, and went to Purdue and coached Joe Barry Carroll. So anyway, he told Jeff Meyer that I did a good job at Sarah School. You ought to call Larry, see if you want to come coach there. And I knew the guy had been working on me, called me in the ministry. So when he called me and said, Larry, Coach Rose said you may be interested in coming coaching up here with me at Liberty. I said, where's Liberty? He said, Lynchburg, Virginia. I said, what kind of school is it? He said, it's a Christian school. I said, oh, wow. I said, yeah, God's going to call me in my ministry. I said, it'd be an ideal place to go. And so I went up there and we talked contract and everything, and I took the job.
Okay.
Stayed about 3 years, and that's why I went to be tested, really, because there was so much racism there, and I had to bring the kids together on the team. I had to be a voice for the African American kids. It was tough there,
This was in
I didn't
Lynchburg.
know that. Lynchburg, Virginia, yeah, Gerald Falwell School. And back in the 80s, early 80s, and that's when SCSC, people don't know this. I was there. Gerald Falwell was the one who started the moral majority. They got Ronald Reagan elected in the 80s. And that's when the first thing about these white evangelicals. That's where all this came from, Jerry Falwell. Yeah, I was there, and that's when he was fighting with Larry Flint and Jesse Jackson real hard. So I was up in all this stuff going on. Yeah.
So you've been you've gone through you've been tested.
Yeah. And that's I'm gonna let you say that because that's why God sent me there to test me in my call to ministry. And I went there, I stood toe to toe with him in a nice way. I didn't conform. I didn't lose my calling in any way. I try to bring kids together and team together because the head coach, he was kind of very unfair. And I used to take up for the black kid. The black kids, when I first got there, they didn't really trust me because I understand that the other black coach, they fired him for some reason. They had some pretty strict rules there, and you can go up and be acting a fool, at Christian school and representing Liberty Baptist University in college. And so what happened was that it took a while for them to trust me, but they saw I was there to be with them. And Brother Derek, we come out to practice time sometime on the practice floor. All the white kids be on one end, all the black kids be on the other end practicing. I said, oh no, come on. I said, I was on the middle floor. I said, come on, guys. I said, come on. I said, we're bigger than this. Y'all, we're Christians. My own thing. I said, we're Christians, but I knew what kind of environment they was in. I didn't know it then, but I see what they was acting because the environment they'd been in, and they knew what it was about. And so I called them together. I said, we bigger than this. And I knew God had called me up there to ministry anyway, so I was trying to bring the guys together. And to kind of jump forward a little bit, every time we would practice and scrimmage, the head coach would give the other top assistant the best players and give me the worst players. And every time we scrimmage, he'd go up in the bleachers and said, every time we scrimmage, my team would kick butt every time. And then we go in and run in the coach's office after practice. He said, well, Coach Blackford, what do you think? I said, well, Coach, I said, both teams know the same offense, same defense, and they know everything. I said, well, Coach, I said, it's how you treat kids. It's how you treat people. He said, what do you mean? I said, Coach, it's not about X's and O's. I said, it's how you treat people. I said, they got a spirit in them. I said, how you treat them. If you can either nurture their spirit or encourage them in their spirit to do right and treat them fairly, you're going to get the best.
Yeah.
He didn't like it, but he didn't get upset by me saying, that's why I dealt with that situation, And he ended up playing this black kid. He wasn't playing a whole lot. His name was Eric Gordon. He had a son who played in the NBA, played for Houston, 'Cause that boy could shoot. His daddy could shoot too, but his daddy was way back then. His daddy could knock it out too, and so I fought him to coach on all the time by letting him start, and he ended up starting him. Yeah, so those kind of things, and I had to kind of keep the harmony on the team, that kind of stuff. And my battery could go out on his phone here. It's crazy.
Okay. So you've been involved in both faith and public service. Which one taught you the most about people?
Uh, ooh, my, I say my faith because everything that I knew that growing up, I had to have faith to be able to navigate through what God had, what He was pushing me to do in the place He sent me. I had to have faith, Um, I knew that, and I knew what God put me in places that only He could do it. And I know it, and he put me there for a reason. That's what I'm saying. To me, it's always been a ministry to me. He sent me to this private white school in Lexington, and sent me to Liberty Baptist there, and he brought me back home to coach at places, first black coach at Henry Clay, and all those kind of things. Like I'm a manager here for sales, a black man in a Republican district, and got them folks voting for me, and I'm still being who I am. I still speak my mind. That's nothing but God there. That's God's favor.
So you kind of touched on what's the problem in Kentucky that nobody's talking about that everybody should be talking.
Uh, about how politics of racism, how racism is politics.
Is it still there?
Yes. Oh, yes, it's still there, and it's still there. And some people are. Uh, I still try to deal with it in a way, bringing unity. I'm also the president of NAACP here for sales, and we do a lot of things to reach across the table. People know I do, and that's what I do. And I have tough conversation. I'm dealing with the education system a lot, so I'm always stirring up some good trouble down. Like John Lewis said, I just need some help other than the Lord help me. I just need some other feet and hands on the voices on the ground with me. Yeah.
So if you had the governor's attention for 5 minutes and could only ask for one change, what would it be?
Be servants of serving the people and have some integrity and character. You need to have those standards of having character and integrity before you even go in. You can't go in that stuff and go try to find it. Then you better have some sense for you want to be an elected official or be a leader in any area.
Why do you think people think that racism is over with? It's not existing anymore. What make their even Falcon to think that it's done, it's over?
I think because they see us as black people, God has made us this way. He's given us so many gifts and talents and a spirit in us that we always can overcome things. We can endure things, and I think and they see us just prospering and just excelling in everything. They think because they see us excelling doing those kind of things that we overcome racism or we don't no longer have it hard anymore.
Mhm.
But racism is a system already in place, and that system has not been dismantled. And that system not only in place, it's their thinking.
Mm.
When most white people they think along with the system, therefore they become a part of the system and think it's normal, and they don't even know they're doing it. I got some white friends. I tell them all the time. I said, you all have white friends who look like you or who are racist. You all may not be racist, or you may not be one. I said, but they are, but you don't know what racism look like, so they're tricking you. And
Mhm.
they're doing it to us. You don't even know it, don't even see it. So I just think that that's a hard thing. Unless you get some white people around the table that can have real conversation, they have no idea what racism looks like. Not whatsoever.
So what do you think the biggest mistake local governments that where you live at make when trying to help communities? What is the mistake that not transferring over when you're trying to help the community?
They don't invite diversity to the table or when they make decisions in government or make decisions in schools pertaining to a diverse group of people. That's the problem. That's why I tell them all the time. I said, if you sit around the table, everybody looks like you, then that's not a good meeting. I said, who can be the voice for the brown, the black, and the fair? Well, I said, who can be a voice for them? I said, you all got to be more conscious of that you all can't sit around a table and have everybody looking like you and you work with people in public make decisions for somebody who ain't at the table.
Mhm.
But see, and they do that sometimes. Some of them do it subconscious, not even knowing. It's just normal because they don't look at us as being equal, don't look at us being needed. They think that we just need the crumbs while they want to eat the loaf, have the loaf on the table. Well, we just don't take the crumbs, the leftovers, I guess.
Equal is the word. That word. What do people assume about leadership that's completely wrong? You've been in leadership, so what do they assume about you that was totally wrong?
Uh, I think they people some people I do believe that some people want leaders to really be leaders, to just be open, honest, and forthright, and not afraid to speak what need to be spoken. Because I think some people are in captivity, or they feel like they have no have a voice, but they may not say it, but they wish somebody would say it for them. Because I think that when somebody that has the courage to speak those things, when somebody wish they could speak, or somebody would speak for them, when somebody do it and they hear it, it frees them up. It also encourages them. It also moves them somewhat. And I think that I think that's what leaders need to do. Leaders need to really be a person that really want to lead. And I mean, I'm talking about from the White House to the dog catcher. Anybody in position as you over people, you either can help to motivate people and encourage people to do the right things, or you can bring unity to those kind of things if you're the kind of leader. But if you're going to be in position and create division, and you don't speak and lead and do things to show people that you are serving all people, you're not a good leader.
Well, we seem not to have the same leaders we used to have, the
Right,
Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X
right,
and things of that nature.
right.
Why do you think that is? Is it because of assassinations, or because when you talk a lot, people look at you and then you get a lot of crazies around who want to take you out of the box for what you said. So how do we combat that?
You don't. That's a part of leadership. That's a part of leading, and that's something that I think that people like Dr. King, W. E. Du Bois, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, all of them knew that when they was out there. To me, see, I think it's leaders who speak their mind and leaders who really lead and speak the truth with wisdom. They have to speak on everything. They do that because they have no choice, Brother Derek. God has put a spirit in certain men to be leaders no matter what. And they can't sit down because the spirit won't let them sit down. And plus, also what they see will not let them sit down without speaking on it or doing something about it, saying something about it. That's why you don't find a lot of people just up there just flapping, also speaking in a leadership role. Now, you got a lot of people that's talking about things, but you don't find somebody in a position to be a leader, to be out front there, to be able to take the cost of leading
Hmm.
and speaking the mind and speaking on issues. But most leaders who do that, I noticed for a fact, they have no choice. And the Spirit of God moves you to lead. And the funny thing about leading, that when you lead like, and when you go to meetings and when you say things in the room that nobody will say, and you say things to get everybody's attention, not get the attention, but you're saying something. They say, "Oh wow, I wouldn't say that, but I know what he's saying is true." Then what you learn that when you leave that meeting, you do those things, you feel some kind of spirit within you. You feel the strength to
Right,
go back
right.
and do it again if you have to again. You feel good about it. You don't feel bad. You say it. You feel, oh wow, God gave me that to say it. And I'm going to say it, and I hope it helps somebody. If not, I can't worry about that. But also, a leader is not on the one that speak truth when it needs to be spoken, but he also understands that it's rewarding.
Yes.
In the end, it's gonna be rewarded. It may be cost you now, but in the end, you're gonna be rewarded.
Have you ever had a mindset of something you're going to do, but you change your mind and then come back and wish you had? I wish I had have said that, or wish I had have done that, or whatever. But it's too late. Anything like? Tell me a story about that.
Oh wow! Well, see, yeah, by me serving as a manager on the court here, uh, I do that. Not all. I have to pick and choose. I won't say battle. I have to pick and choose when I want to say something because I speak on the court, but I have to really deal with a whole lot of issues on the court. And like in my district, one thing, like, see, we got 8 managers in my district. I'm serving in my second term. And in my district, we need some roads. And so what I did last year, I knew we'll have election this year. What I did last year, I asked my county clerk to give me a list of all the roads that have been paved in all the districts in our county. And so she gave me a list, 8 districts, out of all 8 districts, certain roads have been paved in every district except mine. Now, this is for 8 years now. Everybody's been getting roads except me now. So what I did this year, I was asking them to give me that list, so I was setting it up because they know me. They know what I was going to do. I was going to say, okay, here I am serving my constituents, the taxpayers, the citizens of Woodford County. Why can't we get no roads paved in my district? Everybody else getting 2 or 3 roads paved in their district. And everybody know what that would be obviously what I'm saying, right?
Hmm.
And so what I did, I gave them time. They knew I got the paper, and the judge knew it. So what he ended up doing is give me some roads in my district paved because he didn't want to hear me come publicly.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah, he know that. Cause one night on the court, when I first started on the court, they was kinda, giving me a hard time, and I got some pickleball court built for 'em with this ARPA money the federal government gave us, which I thought was one of the smartest thing they did, and after we gave everybody else in the county money, like EMS, police, all those people who work with people during the COVID time, which was meant to do right, I'm looking at the public, I said, "We need to build some pickleball courts," which is fast-growing sport. They fought me like I don't know what. They fought me up and down. I went and got the bids and brought them to court every time, kept going with them. And they voted down, not they voted down to send it down to city, because city and county, we work together in a lock agreement. We do 55%, they do 45. We do those kind of projects together. And I told them, I said, well, I said, everything we do with the city, I said, we vote on it, we send it down. I said, y'all didn't even vote to send this down to court. And I said, matter of fact, y'all some make me feel like I'm Jackie Robinson physical court. And so, we ended up getting them done though, cause and everybody in the camp said, Larry, why they keep fighting you on that? And I'll make it very plain and very simple why we want the pickleball courts. And now they're so happy they pickleball courts, so everybody's playing, and it's just crazy. So it's just those kind of things.
You been
So it's
playing
just,
pickleball?
oh yeah, I'm a big pickleball player. Yeah,
I haven't had a chance to. I've watched them do it. I said, I don't know if I would do that.
it's fun, man. It's
Is it-
it's addictive. It is addictive,
Yeah, I
and
seen.
anybody can play. Nancy plays.
Yeah, I seen restaurants built around it. Restaurants
Yeah, it's big.
and stuff like that. Well, with that being said, do you feel that you become more connected as a society or more isolated?
I feel more connected. I really do, because I approach of things in a way of try to be educational and try to be unified in what I'm doing. I try to make it very clear why what I'm doing, and they can still understand. They can see I can be clear too. Someone can be mad as hell. I understand that. Don't bother me. But I try to make very clear. I really try to hit their conscious or their thinking. One another incident. In the black community over here, we got a street over here for sales named MLK, Dr. King. And they had MLK signs up on the telephone poles on each end of the street, up on the telephone poles. And this out of my district, but I went down to City Hall. I said, man, I said, can we get Dr. King's sign down on the ground on some street poles? And it ain't gonna be easy, well, we can't do that. We can't do that. I said, well, they may keep hitting the poles down there. I said, well, if they keep hitting, keep putting it up or move the pole back. And I said, then we have this guy in facility. Y'all probably know this guy named A.B. Chandler. He was commissioner of baseball. Happy Chandler. He's from here in Woodford County, and he's a tough cookie. Let me say that. And so, and I asked him, I was talking to him about it moving MLK sign down on the ground and putting on two poles on each end of the street. And I said, let me ask you, I said, will you put A.B. Chandler's name up on the telephone poles? Because he lived in Versailles too. He's big. Happy Chandler's a big guy. He's the one at Los Angeles Dodgers with the helped integrate. Well, I ain't gonna say helped integrate, but he was pretty tough. Some guys out in L.A., California on the baseball team. And so I said, would you put a Happy Chandler's name up on the telephone pole? He said, yeah. I said, well, you may. I said, but we don't want the MLK up on no telephone pole. You need to bring it down, put some signs down. And they ended up doing it.
So what would
But
it?
that's something.
What's going to
Some
happen? Anyway?
see, something simple as that. They wouldn't put his name down on it. See, to me, I said, that's disrespectful to the black community and to him to have his name up on telephone poles on each end of the street instead of putting it on poles. So they end up bringing them down.
Okay. Well, I mean, so what's the one lesson from church leadership that you participate in that politicians should know or should be desperately learning from you, people like you?
That if the elected officials are servants, is ordained by God in the Bible, so they don't understand that. See, that's what we be held accountable for. There's three things that God ordained: marriage, government, and the church. All of them ordained by God. If you think about those three things, marriage, government, and the church. And so if any elected official that's serving in government, you ordained to serve the people.
Mhm.
Bottom line, government serves the people. And so that's it. And so that's what I try to tell them. But if people get into politics or run for elected office, they begin to serve certain ones because they're worried about votes and they want to make sure they do the right thing for certain people. But then instead of serving everybody, but say I serve everybody all across the board, everybody. And that's why they can't push back on me, I guess.
Is that a podcast you do, or what is that you do? A radio station,
That
or
was a Bible study I was doing on it's a LGBT gathering.
talk a little bit about
And
that?
Well, I started doing it because I love teaching, and I did a lot of ministry in jails and prisons. I had a lot of people. I was chaplain in jail down here with County for like 8 years, and a lot of people get on. Other people get on too. Plenty of people get on. I just love teaching because I know a lot of people are saved, brother Derek, but a lot of people not going to church and they're not staying connected. I understand that too. I understand that, you know. So I try to keep them connected any kind of way I can through my little Bible study I had on LGB gathering. But Facebook will take me off now. They suspended for some reason. I don't know why they took me down.
Maybe some of the music you was playing?
Probably I don't know, but they didn't say nothing. You know, they've been hitting me off about 4 or 5 months now.
They usually say something, say, "Hey," or no, or either you can file an appeal, I guess, and find out
Hmm.
why they took
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I need to probably do that. I've done it, I think, but I ain't got no response back from them though.
Yeah, they cut back, but they also changed their policies on a lot of things, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, I appreciate that. What are some of the things that you think that AI has contributed or taken away from? Are you for it? Are you against it? What's your thoughts on AI?
Man, you bet to know you bet to have some other resources other than this AI. Some of it's good, but some of it's crazy.
Mhm.
Like everything else, I think people like that in society. You know, they to keep you messed up, to keep you thinking, to keep you twisted, or keep you swinging, whatever. You know, but I like something about AI. I do. You know, I can Google some stuff AI and I like it. You know, but you got to be, and you also got to be one that have some idea what you're seeking and not be gullible, just what somebody tell you, then you know you can tell that what somebody's saying if it makes sense. You know, if you have any kind of knowledge yourself, or a little bit of yourself, or, you know.
Right, right. So a young person watching this who wanna be like you or do some of the things that you're doing, what's some advice that you would tell them to coach them on to let's say he's just come out of high school, then we'll say come out of college, and let's say there's an adult who's 40, 50 years old who has a change in life and God has spoke to his heart or her heart,
Yeah.
I don't want to
Mhm.
it's his.
Right.
What would you tell them? Let's start with high school. What would you tell a high school student who
I would tell a high school kid to really uh, s- have goals. Make up your mind what you really want to do, and believe in yourself. Have faith in God. Trust God, and prepare yourself to have some troubled times trying to obtain your goals. It ain't gonna be easy. But if you really want something, reach it and believe in yourself, you can get it. You know, I think that's one thing I did as a kid. Nobody could not tell me that I couldn't do what I want to do. You couldn't do that. And so, and like my faith made me that way. And I wanted to obtain things. I knew that I felt the presence of God in my life as a kid growing up and doing things. And I just knew that. And I want to tell kids this too also. Don't be afraid to be a loner. You can waste a lot of time trying to find friends to people to like you. You better like yourself first, and then you find somebody of like mind like you, or going to set goals themselves and have high standards. Then you find hook on with them. But don't think you got to lower your standards to have friends, or you got to be something for somebody to like you. I think it's the worst thing you do. I see adults even doing that right today.
or as adults or as a leader, how do you approach troubled kids, troubled youth? Some of them may have
Mhm.
guns or knives or whatever.
Right,
It
right,
just gone through so much. Do you still
right.
approach them or do you stay away from them
Oh
or
no, I approach them. I let them know. I understand where they are. I don't judge them. I understand why you're doing what you're doing, but let's find out how we can reverse that. How we can get you out of because that's there's no good ending to where you're headed. So I don't criticize what they are because I understand why kids can fall in the holes, why they can be mean and mad. Here's when I work with a lot of black kids. Yeah, I saw so many angry black kids in school, and most of them was angry with Brother Dad because they didn't have no dad at home. Here's what I told him. See, my grandmother raised me. I had a dad in for sales here that didn't even see me play not one basketball game. And when I went into ministry, he only heard me preach one time, and he fell asleep at the time he came to church when I was preaching. But I loved him because I understood that my dad went through some things at that time. He wasn't educated, that he went through some things that he was like he is because of what he's been through, experienced. I understand that. I was not mad at him. And so I tell black kids, look, your dad has struggled. If your dad in a home, you can still be something. don't be mad and angry at your daddy. Now you have responsibility yourself, your age to do things your own life. And I used to take some of the anger out of them. I said, look, okay, your dad is, you know, try to work with your dad, try to understand what your dad's been through. He's not there. I said, I didn't have a dad home either.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I didn't have people come see me play ball and those things. I said, but I had something I wanted to attain. I said, if you get out and want to attain something, you can go do that. You don't have to have a dad at home. If he's there, that's great, but if you can still do it without a dad. So a whole lot of time my kids are angry because they don't get the attention, the love, which I understand that too. I understand that. But you got to love yourself, even if you don't have a dad. You got to find a way to love yourself, even if you don't have a dad in your life.
So, what do you think our kids at University of Michigan go through when they lose their coach to a pro team?
Oh man,
What you
they're
think
they're
kids gonna be?
they're hurting, but they're hurting. But I think those guys, I watched them play this year. I think those guys are strong enough, have the kind of character and 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 intelligent. They was a smart group of guys too. I love where they play together. You can tell they're very matured. And I think they can reconnect themselves. I really do because they know that the coaching will always be with them anyway. So they know if those things do happen, but I got enough in me where I'm gonna still be successful, whether he here or not. See,
So, you think that coach made the right decision or a bad decision?
no. I don't think anybody make right to no coach NBA. No. You can't because you can't coach them. You can't tell them boys to get hustle down the floor. You can't tell them to guard that. I mean, you can't coach. How you gonna hurt their little feelings? You
Well, I
can't
guess
coach them to get NBA. You can't do that.
yeah. I guess you can't.
No.
I think it's a huge. I never coach. It's a huge difference between college coaching
Sure.
and
Right.
pro coaching.
Right.
You
So
know.
you still got relationships in college,
Okay.
but you ain't got a relationship. They man, great. They don't have relationship. What you gonna tell them something? Not go out to the bar after the game or before the game, or don't be smoking. You can't do it. You can't do that. You gonna get in this person. You gonna try to tell him shape his life? Yo, no.
Well, maybe it's a different type of coaching mentality that you're doing. You're saying it differently than you would to a kid. It's grown folks talking, grown men
If
talking.
he's if they're open to it, if they're open to it to hear it. See, they're in a different environment now, money, all that kind of stuff now. Some of them old boys can do it. If a kid likes the adult and see he has the wisdom and the knowledge and really care about what he's doing with him as a coach and a player, he'll listen to him. But if you just hear this the coach and don't care about what you're doing off the court, 'cause I ain't gonna meddle in your business, you ain't gonna meddle in my business, then that could be a tough thing right there.
So they're just there for show, just for looks. They're not really serving a purpose.
Who the coaches?
Yeah.
They're compared. They want to coach and win, but they know they have limits when you're coaching the guys in the in the NBA. They know they got limits. I mean, you're not going to do anything. Have you ever seen a coach embarrass a player, holler at a player in the NBA? Have you ever seen him get mad at a player or
Yeah.
look at him crazy?
Oh, not today, but back in the day, I'd seen some coaches yell and be
Well,
screaming. But I
back in the day,
at the player or they yell at the ref. Maybe mostly they yell at the refs.
yeah, back in the day,
Yeah.
yeah, back in the day, that's when the coaches back in the day coaches too. That's where they on coaches. Only way they're gonna coach. These boys coaching nowadays ain't gonna do that,
Mhm.
and the players ain't gonna take it.
Mm. Okay. All right. So
They ain't gonna take it.
what truth do you know today that you wish someone had told you when you were 25 years old? You think it made a difference in your life or change your life or so
What truth?
you got the truth all you got from your grandmother and that's all you needed and you where you needed to be?
I think she prepared me well. Really, I do. Her and some older guys in the community said things to me, and I was kind of old head growing up.
Okay.
I was,
You had a
I
old
was. Huh?
you had an old soul. Is that
Yeah. I was old, so yeah.
okay. Very
Yeah,
respectful. I know they're
yeah.
very extremely respectful. And tell me your thoughts on this. When it comes to the South and versus the North, they have a lot of respect, a yes ma'am, no ma'am type of thing, open the doors, all that kind of stuff. How do the Southern people feel about the Northern people who doesn't have that same type of respect? I'm just curious. I'm just throwing that out there. Is it like had bad home training, or they weren't raised right, or what are your thoughts, or do they say I want to be like them? What's
Are you talking about, yeah, the North look at the South as being so much different and
yeah
Southern than North? Yeah.
yeah.
Um, uh, I, I think people know the South is different.
Okay yeah
I think people know that, and we in the South know people in the North are different.
yeah Yeah.
I think we know that culturally and how we see things, how we go about doing things. It's rough in the South. It's not as bad up north, but
Okay.
it's still bad in the north too. But it's a different kind of rough,
Tell me
you
about
know.
explain that because I'm thinking it's more rougher in the north, such as New York, Detroit, Chicago
Okay,
thing, where maybe I'm thinking a different type of rough. But what type of rough are you speaking on?
I'm talking about opportunities, living,
Well, yeah, yeah.
how people are treated, how people looked at. Down here in the South, you're very, very divided, very separated. You have a system, a certain. We're still dealing with Klan. We're still dealing with all that kind of stuff. Confederate. And we still deal with those kind of tensions and hatreds.
So is there certain areas in Kentucky you need to stay away from as being African American or a person of color?
Yeah, yeah. You don't go down to London. You don't go down no Corbin.
Okay.
Um, it's another place, right? That's definitely you don't go them places.
I'm glad you telling me now.
Yeah,
So I know
you know.
not to go down.
No, you don't go down them places, yeah.
I didn't know there was I thought you could go anywhere. I know now.
No, 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 you can't go anywhere now.
I thought it was like that maybe in Alabama, Mississippi, and
Mm.
Georgia, but I didn't know
Yeah,
probably the same goes for Tennessee. There's certain places you
yeah,
be at night, or maybe
right,
in the daytime, you know?
right.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what
I
would you
tell you,
no, no, I wanna hear this. Go
I
ahead.
got about one to talk about. My phone about ready to go off here in a little while, but so I'll let you know that in case it just go dead on me.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you about one more question, and
Mhm.
what would you want people to remember you by like 25, 30 years, old, gone on
Mhm.
story. What do you want the
Yeah.
people to look back at Larry Blackford and remember some things that you did and speak highly of? What would be your legacy? Something that you
Uh, that I was a man after God's own heart, and I care about people.
okay. Well, that's true
Yeah.
because you care about me enough to be on my show. So
That's why I love you, brother. Yeah.
that's like
That's
care right there.
that's what I want people. I really do. I care about people. I'm drawn to try to help people. Sometimes even to my detriment. Sometimes I can't stand seeing people being mistreated. I
Uh-huh.
may go and try to help somebody. Something I've learned to not always go all the time because a whole lot of time people set you up and they run after they set you up to go help them. Those kind of things. But it bothers me when I see people being hurt because I know what it is to be an educator, see kids in school bullying each other and that kind of stuff. And it's really bad when somebody's being mistreated and they feel helpless and powerless and feel like they're being mistreated. I don't like them feeling that way.
So you have to wear several hats. Which hat do
Yeah.
you wear of all these different jobs and things you do? Because this show is about people who wear several hats that you say is the heaviest hat to wear during your course of your day or your life or your week or your month.
Yeah.
What's
I
that?
would say my calling of just being what God want me to be and do the things he want me to do. I tell people all the time, I say, if I was in my own rational mind, I wouldn't say the things I say or do the things I do. But since I'm not in my mind, I'm trying to have the mind of Christ. I have no choice.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you being on my show. I always give my guests an opportunity if they have any questions to ask me, something they always wanted to know, never did ask, or any thoughts about what I'm doing, how things are going. I give you the floor to ask questions, about me if you have any question. If you don't, that's cool too. That's all right.
I do want to thank you for thinking about me to doing this. I really appreciate that. I've always thought about having these kind of something like this. I love have conversation, real conversation, real kind of thing. And this is a good way of doing it. So I really thank you for inviting me to do this. And I really appreciate it very much. God bless you and love you. And, we're family. And I really thank you for that, man. I really.
No, I've had deep conversations with you before, you and your
Mhm.
wife, and
Yeah.
it's always been favorable. We've always had some very good, deep,
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
and
Right. That's what you do.
yeah,
Yeah.
and love each other on that. So I certainly
Yeah,
appreciate it.
man.
So, well, we have Larry Blackford. Appreciate you being on this show. Got all the toys. so, so
Yeah.
anything you need from me, of course, you have my number,
Right.
and give me a call, and I'll be here for you. All right.
Appreciate it. God bless you. Love you.
I appreciate it. See you.
Be safe. All right.